Alright guys, today we're going to cover rolling patterns. What we want to cover today is what we're going to do to help improve somebody, improve push-ups as well as rotary stability, let them stabilize through the core. So I'm going to cover the rolling patterns in just a minute, but everybody here should be kind of familiar with rolling patterns. We do them in our gym pretty much on a daily basis. So why? Why are we doing the rolling patterns? I want to get into just a little bit of some of the reasoning. So whenever we're looking at the rolling patterns, whenever we're looking how smooth and fluid people can be, basically we're looking at their soft core. So there's a difference between soft core, hard core. Hard core is going to be our abdominals, basically, braced behind that shield. Our soft core is going to be diaphragm, a lot of smaller muscles that's going to help stabilize the spine. So understanding the difference between the two is going to be key. So that's what we're looking for, is the soft core. Next, what we're looking for is the ability to see if the timing between the two, the soft core, the hard core, and the prime movers, is going to be off. So a lot of the times, as you start to lose your rolling capabilities, prime movers tend to move first. So if you're looking at that push-up and you got that hitch, we're getting a lot of prime movers moving before the stabilizers. That's why the core is kind of lagging behind. So we're going to see some of that whenever we do a little hands-on demonstration for rolling, but we're going to be able to see that timing differential. And then also another one is the rolling is going to be likelihood of injury. So whenever we lose ability to stabilize through our core, our other joints, shoulders, knees, hips, we'll see a lot of strains. You can see a lot of injuries due to the core not properly being able to handle a load. So if the core is not taking it, basically our extremities are going to start taking more undue stress than necessary because it's not really transferring through the body. So those are some of the key components, what we look for in rolling. There's 4 different patterns we're going to look at. So the 4 different patterns, we've got upper body rolling, lower body rolling. So those are 2, but there's basically from belly to back, back to belly. So we go prone and supine. So we're going to break out. We're going to do a little hands-on demonstration. Steve, you have anything, did I miss anything on rolling?
If there's anything I could add, just know that this is the first stability exercise that we teach. So once mobility is cleared, either whatever you do to clear mobility, but in our world, the axe straight leg raise and shoulder mobility, once that's clear, this is the first exercise that we go into in order to gain stability. And it's also great to use as an assessment to basically see the roll, to see if there's anything else that might be unstable throughout the body. If they don't have the connection to roll, they're not ready to do higher level exercise. So it's a level 1 stability exercise, and it's an assessment to make sure that you can move somebody up further. So that's about it.
All right, let's go ahead and break out into the turf room and go into our hands-on. All right, we got Whitney. Whitney's going to demonstrate some of our rolling here. So Whitney, go ahead and lay down. We're going to start. Let's go ahead and start with our upper body roll. Upper body rolls, people tend to have a little more difficulty with. So we're going to be working back to belly, belly to back. So working both supine and prone. We're going to start out with the supine one here. So I'm going to have Whitney roll to her right. So what we want to do is, I want you to put both arms overhead, both legs lay there. So now what we're going to do is with the upper body rolling, we're looking for hips down, basically belly button down to stay paralyzed. So whenever I'm assessing this, I'm going to be looking at different things. I'm going to be looking at her leg. So whenever she's rolling this way, there's a good chance that she may want to push into that ground to help stabilize off the ground for a soft core that's not really doing its job. So she's going to, you'll see different things. We're basically looking at this lower body to see what it's doing. Also, we're going to look at the upper body to see if she has to really reach, get a lot of pec minor, get a lot of other muscles. This should be a nice, smooth, fluid motion. So she should be able to breathe. She should be able to relax. She should just be able to basically work it and flop over with basically her legs staying paralyzed. So we're going to demonstrate this one. So let's go ahead. I want you to reach up. Good. Now you're going to flex. I want you to flex the chin. So you're going to raise the head off the ground a little bit. Good. Now I want you to drive your nose into your armpit. Reach, 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 reach. Too bad. Good. Now we're going to work on the prone roll. So the prone roll, now we're going to go back to the beginning. So what we're going to do is keep the arm overhead. Again, hips down are going to stay paralyzed. I want you to really reach the arm and turn the neck, turn the neck, turn the neck, and kick over. Let's see what your other side looks like. So we're going to practice the same thing going this way. So reach. So this side, I don't know if you guys noticed, it didn't look quite as fluid as the other side. So let's see this one. Okay. Let's go ahead and get another one going back to your right. I want to see if we can see any difference between right and left. There you go. I don't know if you guys saw that. You guys see the foot push into the ground? So what she was doing was kicking into the ground right there to give that core a little extra stability. So let's see you coming back. Reach. Good. Now let's see you going opposite way. And you have a little hitch there. Let's go ahead and come back. Okay. That's the upper body roll. Now I'm just going to demonstrate some lower body roll, and then we're going to go into some corrections. So if somebody's really struggling through this, what we can do to progress them through. So the lower body roll, we're going to go the exact same thing, except for now belly button up is going to be paralyzed. So let's go ahead. I'm going to have you roll here. You're going to flex the hip, good, and then reach. And then we're going to extend. I want you to go ahead, use that left leg. Roll. Good, now let's go ahead and see a roll coming this way. We'll try not to, go ahead and come back. Good, I want you to go that way again, and don't fling the leg and let momentum take it over. I want you to leg lower. Go ahead and go back. And try not to kick way up here. Try to just.
Here and over.
Yep. A little better. It looked a little tougher on you though. Good, and then same thing coming back. Okay. So those are basically at least understanding upper body rolling, lower body rolling. So there's a lot of different things. What we're looking for is to get her body to stabilize through this, getting that core to stabilize. One of the first things I do, I know we coach a lot of groups, so quick thing that we do whenever we got people rolling in our warm-ups and everything, I just come by. Most people are wearing shoes, but Whitney never does. Let's go ahead and go back to your upper body roll. We're going to roll this way. So one of the first things I like to do is I like to kick leg. So I just drive through the heel. So I'm just driving here. What that's doing is basically getting that core to engage. A lot of the times I'll come by, I'll have somebody struggle, and all I'll do is just give them some kicks. And you can see an immediate improvement. With the rolling, you're going to see a lot of different things, a lot of these different corrections. One thing works for somebody, yeah, it may not work for another person. So you may have to go through 4 or 5 different corrective strategies to fix this roll. But with one of these methods that we're going to cover today, you can almost always get somebody to improve that rolling pattern. Let's go. Same thing coming back. You can do the same thing. You can work on an upper body roll. So I'd work on, you can again kick the down leg. So the leg that should be long is I'm going to kick. So if she's rolling this way, basically this leg is staying long. That's the one I'm going to drive my foot into the heel. So I like doing that one. That's the first one. If you see some benefits from that, keep working. Then after they do repetition, it should get a little bit better. Then you can kind of lay off the kick, see if that sticks without giving you the kick. Next one, since again we kind of talk groups, I want to show you a couple different ways to do the band. So there's band assistance. So we're going to continue rolling this way. Again, this is the down leg. So I'm just going to put this on here, put it on over your shoulder. I like using a little bit thicker band than this. You can start to wean them off, but usually like a 1-inch band would be a solid starting point, 3/4 inch, 1-inch band. If you start like the 1/2 inch, you'll be able to get a little more play, but that 3/4 inch, if you start to move and don't stabilize, that band is going to really show you some flaws. So let's go, same thing, we're getting some stability out of that band. Yep, and roll this way. Good. And then I want you to roll, go back, same thing. Now, if we were going to go the opposite way, basically I would just change band on where that shoulder is going to be. This is a great one to use group setting, just because they can do it on their own. Usually, thicker band is going to show their weaknesses, and then as they get better, just move to thin band. Coke band everywhere. I'm going to show another one that I really like. Seems to work a little bit better This doesn't work as well in a in a boot camp model. However, if you're doing personal training, working with anywhere between 1, 3, 4, even 5 people, this tends to work extremely well. Whitney, go ahead. Tell you what, I want to actually just have Crystal hold this. So I want you to put this on your foot. And I want you to go right back to the exact same spot you're at, Crystal. Right back over here. So I like to make sure we got roughly 45-degree angle. This works really well. Again, as you can tell, we're just adding a band to the long leg side so she can get stability out of here. And now I'll just go into your roll. I have more success with this one than I do with the other one. However, it just depends on scenario, on which version I use. And then same thing going back. That's basically a couple different ways we can use a band to stabilize. Another one, what I can do is, this is a good way to see if she's cheating. Now, I'm going to be able to feel, basically my feet are now the ground, but I can feel her push into my leg, or my toe here, and that's going to let me know how I spotted one of her rolls, how she kicked off. Now she's going to, if she does that, she's going to push into my foot. I'm going to easily be able to identify that, and I might be able to see if we've got an oblique issue, hip flexor, or anything like that. So let's go ahead, I want you to do that same roll. Turn your neck, turn your neck, turn your neck. Not bad. And I want you to come back. Good. So that is a really good way, just by propping those feet up on. I like using that almost as an assessment, because you'll be able to really feel if they're using the ground to stabilize or not. Sometimes they can barely be using that ground, so unless you have a very trained eye at this will help, kill some of that basically trained eye that you need. I've done the kick, I've done the band. Another one is propping the body up. I want to have you roll that way since we've been doing tons of rolls this way. So if somebody else is struggling, another thing you can do, you can get a yoga mat, you can use AirX pads, you can use basically anything, towels, pillows, anything you want to kind of prop the body up. So what I'm doing is basically shortening her range of motion that she's got to go. So now she's already a third of the way, half of the way there. Now she's just going to roll, do that upper body roll, flex the neck, turn, turn, turn. Good, and then she's going to come back. Now you can do this if she had a tough time with the extension roll, going from belly to back, then we can also prop that side up too. All these methods work for both. I would start to wean her off. So I would take the thick pad, I could just start to roll it out and basically make that thinner. Now she's got to cover a little bit more ground. And then until we can get all the way down to the floor and see a nice seamless, smooth roll. And then just verbal. So verbal or assistance. So I use one of these cook bands, or you can use a resistance band. So what I want you to do here is go ahead, go into your upper body roll this way. Yep, go ahead and grab this handle. So another thing I can do is barely give her some assistance. So if she, go ahead, roll, and I want you to pretend like you're getting stuck. So roll, reach, 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 reach this way. If she starts getting stuck, I can give her just a little bit of a pull until we can kind of wean her off that. And that can that works as well. So both ways. And then usually one of those methods is going to do it. If not, there's oral drivers and different things we can do. So our oral drivers is basically putting your tongue in your cheek and look in the direction you're going to roll. So if she was doing the extension roll, going to her left here, so right arm's going to drive up, I'm going to have her put her tongue in her right cheek and look. So she wants to look, 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 and those eyes should go to the corner and the tongue should stay in the cheek. A lot of the times I've had people that can't hardly move. They just put their tongue in their cheek and start looking that way. Boom, flop right over. So gave you a lot of different things we can do. Just to kind of recap, one of my favorites, first things I do, I just kick the foot. That's quick, easy. If that gets you the job done, awesome. If not, the next one I usually fall back on is just propping the body up. These are easy, that can be done, and also it's something you can visually see and kind of walk away from, so you can deal with other clients at the same time, and they can start to get that down. Next one after that, I try to go the band at the angle. If I'm in a boot camp or something like that, in a big group situation, I might throw a band on over there. And then and then I also just verbally tell them about the oral drivers, start working that. And then my last case scenario is if they're not getting it, then I give them just a little bit of assistance to really help them actually finish that so they can get successful with that role and not be so discouraged. We want them to at least have some success, and then, oh, we're weaning you off, and then they feel very confident about it, and we start to improve their rolling. Once you start getting somebody able to roll like this, they're going to be, their self-esteem is going to start to improve. Everything's going to get better from here, as well as their ability to stabilize through the core and stay injury-free. So that's kind of some of the corrections we use for upper body and lower body rolling.